What's going on to the beautiful souls? Mountain about, feeling blessed, feeling good, energy hitting right. I want to talk about something today that I have seen that is transpiring, but also with how I'm feeling. So we're going to title this video, Doing Good Deeds in the Eyes of Man. The reason why I titled it that is because today we'll be going over a couple scenarios and kind of some thought processes on doing things for God. Doing things for God, but feeling peer pressured into doing them. So then you don't really want to do them. I dealt with a lot of this as a child, like actually wanting to do something for God, actually wanting to, step behind God. And, whether it was me being in the choir or me doing my usher thing or doing plays, or I forgot what they call the dances, but I used to do a lot of dances in church, all to praise and get closer to God. But it was forced. But a lot of things as a kid, you're forced to do them, right? Until you realize, like, this is what I want to do. I had a really, really hard time of understanding myself to the point where I was like, okay, like without being forced, like 9 times out of 10, I had to be forced to do a lot of the things that I was doing in my teenage years and my young years at church. But now that I'm adult, I'll say I'm still looking for a church family. That's also, I wasn't trying to make this video long, but it's like I've been looking for a church family. Like I've been wanting to be around good people, but then there's the other side of that. And there's been a couple people, older gentlemen that I've run into or that are a part of my family that I've spoken to. And that's where the real talk comes from. Cause it's like, I'll let them know what I'm interested in Bible study, this and the third. And they're like, now I'm not one of those that you got to respect the men that don't really care to give their opinion because they feel like they just nitpicking. But if you listen to certain men, they usually give like 4 or 5 or 6 reasons on why something is the way something is. You know what I mean? Like they usually have some very strong evidence behind it. And that's what I feel like was happening in this scenario because of how I titled the video. That's why I said but I've noticed that folks with gifts that try to do things for God, I'll say under a church, like under a pastor, under somebody else. Like if somebody from a church witnesses you being able to do something or knows your talent, they're going to try to exploit that talent is what I'm kind of trying to say. And it can get overwhelming because it's like, I want to do stuff for God. I want to do this and the third, but you'll realize you'll be running into individuals that are hands down trying to use you for your gift. Like that was saying, they might get something for free. They might get something discounted. They might get something to benefit them. And I hate to use the scenario that this older gentleman was telling me about, but it hit the nail on the head because like, that's not the only scenario that this occurs in, but it's enough to make it like, I'm good because I know it's going to happen again. And it's like churches I have, like, that's what I was saying, like this older gentleman, he repairs cars and he was letting me know, he was just like, I own my own business. I fix cars, whoop de whoop. So, you know what I mean? Like just out of curiosity, I was like, do you need any more clients? He was like, no. And that's why I said, like, I respect men that kind of do their own thing, but then they let you know, like they don't need no more clients. They actually booked, they actually packed, they actually booked them busy. I don't need nothing else. You know what I mean? Like they might take your number, whoop de whoop, but it's like, they're good at their job and they're not a BSer. They're real, they're honest, they're God-fearing. They just don't want to be used. Or that's what I'm saying, or they plate be already filled, so then they don't need nothing else. And that's what this gentleman was. He was a family man, a husband, a father. I think he found a church home, and then they tried to exploit him for his ability to be able to fix cars. Had one of the young ladies from the church contact the man and get free services more than once. And that's why I said, like, there is like a place for certain people to need and get assistance. But I feel like things have gotten so bad depending on what's needed that folks don't feel like they have to put in any kind of effort or any kind of money. I'm at church, somebody's going to bless me with this, somebody's going to bless me. Like that could be the saying, and that's why people go. And I know that's probably what he was thinking because of how he told the story. This lady he was pretty much saying the lady kept using me until I told her no. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and he was just like, bruh, like she was asking me to come fix small stuff on the car, like, and to the point where it got tedious and annoying. Like, okay, you're calling me like every other month to fix something on your car. It's not free. You know, and that's why I said, like, folk will use you until you stop letting them use you, until you put your foot down. And that's kind of hard because I heard that coming out of another man's mouth. And granted, both of these men were over the age of 60. Both of these men were over the age of 60. One of them is still doing work for the community. The other one, I don't say he still do his thug thizzle, but he still does what he's supposed to do for his kids and his grandkids. So God is good. But that's the hard part when it comes down to some of this stuff, because it's like you want to do something for God, you want to do something for someone else, but then you don't want the connection of folk just being able to hit you up whenever they feel like it. And I peeped that from the other older gentleman that I was speaking to about the topic. They don't want to get used when they family is not doing the best, but then your only focus is money. That's the only thing that I probably find that is kind of like hard when it comes to a lot of this stuff. It's like, I remember going to church and it's like so much was needed at the church from, you know, specific individuals. But if they had a life and they had other things that they had going on, it's like they don't necessarily have the wiggle room to be doing all of this and nobody helping them. You know what I mean? So then that's the issue. I think that's the issue that I feel like I was running into. It's like, I don't mind giving my gift to God. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to make sure that I'm helping his people stick closer to him. The issue is being able to afford. The issue is, being able to afford. The issue is being able to afford the time to be able to do all of these things. We're you know what I'm saying? Some of us, we actually have a lot on our plate. So then when we get asked certain stuff, it's like, ooh, you know, like I might not have the time, but I'll make some time. You feel me? And that's why I say you got to respect the folks that go to church and they make time for certain stuff. It's just, that's why I said there's people that are in the church house, and this goes for any establishment because it's happening at my school too. But there's always going to be that one person that is going to put more effort than others. And you'll see, and it's just like, and it's not that they have the time, it's not that they have the money, it's because they want to help. That's it. Somebody helped them, so they want to be helpful. That's it. Now, they might not have all the time in the world, they might not have all the money in the world, they might not have, that's what I say, they might not have the time to talk. They might have to email everything. Stuff might still be hard for them, but guess what? They don't make excuses. And they show up because they want to be helpful. And that's when I stop that's when you really just focus on the good and you just let the negative roll right off your back. Because at the end of the day, like, I still want to be helpful. I still want to serve God. I still want to be righteous in his name. And I say the biggest thing with me, like, that I got to watch out for. And my big homie was like, yo, you know how mentally aware you got to be to notice something like that and not fall for it? That was, I almost feel like there's cult-like churches out here. Like, it's so big out here. There's cult-like churches out here, and they're not serving God. They don't know Yahshua. They don't know Jesus Christ. They don't know Yahshua. And I know I'm gonna kill some people with that, but just let it be. That's why I say, like, I study God to be closer to God, not to debate with people. All right, where your sources coming from? I love to study. I love to study. But that's why I don't walk around saying Christianity. I want to study and understand God. Okay, how do I do that in the purest way? Sometimes I feel like going into the church, it kind of hurts that sometimes, because I do study and meditate with myself and by myself and with family. So then it's like too many opinions. So I feel like my life ain't that bad. So too many opinions and your life ain't even, but you don't sense. Some people love preaching to you, but they are not preaching to themselves. I think on that note, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. So let's go ahead and get to the word real quick. See what we got going on today. Daily devotionals with the old man. Let's see what we got going on today. All right. God can set you free from the prison of your past. I came from a background of abuse and was raised in a dysfunctional home. My childhood was filled with fear and torment. As a young adult trying to live for Christ and follow the Christian lifestyle, I believed my future would always be marred by my past. I'm pretty sure that's what that says. I thought, how can anyone who has this kind of past I do ever really be all right? It's impossible. But Jesus said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has sent me to announce release to the captives. Jesus came to open the prison doors and set the captives free. I couldn't make any progress until I realized that God wanted to release me from from the prison of my past. I had to believe that neither my past nor my present determined my future unless I let it. I had to let God miraculously set me free. You may have a miserable past that continues to affect your present in a negative and depressing ways. But I say to you boldly, your future is not determined by your past or your present. Let God break off the chains of your past. Prayer starter. God, I believe that you are more powerful than my past. I receive my freedom you give me. My past will not determine my future. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set a liberty to those, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. Luke 4:18 through 19. New King James Version. I feel like I said that one a little bit more you know what I mean? It was a little under that one. But yeah, I want to hit y'all with that word. You feel me? I'm still struggling with a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it. God is good. Give me a like, comment, subscribe. Holla at me.